Welcome to Radar, Safran's podcast that takes you behind the scenes of aerospace and defense. I'm Kayla Rourke, and in each episode, I meet with guests to explore an exciting topic that shapes our industry.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain, and I'd like to welcome you aboard Flight Safran Radar.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Radar. In this latest episode, we'll be talking about the circular economy. You've probably heard the term before. In most cases, it refers to making something new out of something old and optimizing the use of our resources by repairing, reusing, and recycling to reduce waste, for example. But it goes further than that, as the aerospace industry knows well. At Safran, a comprehensive approach has been put into place to make aviation more responsible, more resilient, and more innovative. So how can we bring sustainability and innovation together? How does the circular economy apply to the aerospace industry? And what concrete projects will it lead to? To explore these questions, we are joined today by two guests, Émilie Herny, Safran's Circular Economy Director, and Hélène Frénois, Safran's Program Innovation Director for Sustainability and Recyclability. Prepare for takeoff as we embark on a smooth journey towards circularity. Hi, Émilie. Hi, Hélène. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Kayla.
So we hear the term circular economy pretty often and across many sectors. Most of the time, it refers to reusing old materials to create something new, at least partially. How does the circular economy apply to aerospace and more specifically to Safran? Émilie?
The circular economy aims to optimize the use of virgin resources and thus helps reduce the group's environmental footprint. Circular economy relies on practices such as repair, reuse, and recycling. It is a relatively new direction within Safran, and this direction is attached to the Chief Sustainability Officer. The objective is to define the group's ambition and strategy on this topic. Over the past year and a half, we have also worked on clarifying everyone's roles, which is essential to efficiently advance the circular economy topic.
Definitely. Well, maybe you could each help us all better understand your specific roles. Émilie, what is your scope?
Yes, of course. So my role is to define and guide the group's ambition for the circular economy while aligning it with our sustainability objectives, of course.
And you, Hélène, what's your role?
Émilie spoke about exploratory approach. So by working with all the companies across the group, I identify and lead innovation projects that advance and reinforce Safran's ambition for circularity.
Great. So why would you say this economic model is so strategic for Safran today? What goals has the group set in this area?
The goal is to minimize our use of virgin materials, that mean extracted from the earth, in order to preserve natural resources, to reduce also our environmental footprint and reduce, and this is a very important point, our dependence on extraction zones, especially in an evolving geopolitical context. To do this, we decide within Safran to rely on the 5R strategy, also well known in other industries. So our 5R are the following. The first one is robust, sustainable design, because our products need to be eco-design, sustainable design from the earliest stages of the development. The second R is repair. We need to optimize repair in order to extend the life duration of our products. The third one is reuse, encouraging reuse and particularly through the refurbishment of components, and we can take here the example of the carbon brakes. The fourth one is recycle, to develop solutions that allow high-value materials to be recycled and introduce it again in the industrial chain. And the last one, which is in fact the consequence of the fourth last, it's rethink. The objective of rethink, it's how we can, Safran, rethink our business model, our uses, our positioning to accelerate this transition toward a circular economy approach.
So you have this 5R strategy, and we can see that it encompasses many different initiatives. Hélène, do you think you could maybe share one or two examples and tell us how they relate to some of these Rs?
Yes, of course. The work carried out on the recyclability of aircraft interiors led us to identify a product that allows us to apply the 5R strategy defined by the group, in particular on the R of robust sustainable design and the R of recycle. Together with Safran Seats, we created a list of technological building blocks to explore, each aimed at reducing the environmental impact of our product. A further selection process allowed us to identify 15 key technologies to build a proof of concept. This work led to an eco-design seat, which serves as a true demonstrator of future solutions for cabin interiors. In concrete terms, the demonstrator incorporates materials created from production scraps, such as polycarbonate or carbon fibers, along with materials that are easier to recycle. This project is an illustration of the collaboration between the innovation roadmap I lead and the company's business team, department of R&T, materials, etc.
Yeah, so you say collaboration, and that definitely stands out. It sounds like the circular economy approach is really a broader, multidisciplinary effort. Would you say that it's challenging to get everybody on board?
We have the chance that the group is extremely committed to moving forward on circular economy. And as a large group, this transformation takes progressively time, of course. We need time to ensure everybody is fully on board of that topic. But our leadership is at the highest level of the company, which is a very good point. Awareness is growing, and the foundations of the approach is now established.
The challenge today lies in identifying and implementing concrete, innovative projects with each company, with dedicated resources to advance the less mature initiatives. While reducing virgin material consumption naturally supports competitiveness, we must show that using recycled materials doesn't compromise the quality or performance of Safran products. Turning intention into operational action calls for collective commitment and solid coordination. Yet the current momentum is very, very promising.
Oh, that's great to hear. So it's been a year and a half since this effort began. Where do you stand today? And have you been able to sort of measure the benefits of the program? Emilie?
One concrete action we can see is the recovery and recycling of metal chips. We started with titanium. For this topic, we are able to quantify Safran's gains. However, for non-metallic material, the level of maturity is not the same, and the recycling channels are not yet fully structured, and the supply chain remains to be consolidated. We still have to demonstrate that some materials can be recycled or even reused. We need proof of concept that are still essential to validate technical solutions and ensure their future industrialization. And this is the major focus of the roadmap of Hélène.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, Hélène, would you say that the circular economy is a driver of innovation? And do you think that some of these innovations could extend even beyond the aerospace sector?
Well, to develop technologies that recycle, complementary areas come together to advance the circular economy. On one side, materials expertise, which aims to integrate more recycled materials and identify waste streams that retain high value. On the other, teams exploring new usage models, notably to extend product lifespans. So yes, circular economy is a driver of innovation. And this approach, in which we prioritize closed loops within our sector, allows itself to step beyond the strict confines of aerospace to draw inspiration from more mature practices in other industries.
So really quickly, just before we close, what do you anticipate are the upcoming challenges that you'll need to overcome to continue to accelerate this transition?
From my point of view, we have identified three major challenges. The first one is making our assemblies less complex, to separate materials and channel them into the correct recycling streams. The second one is the recyclability of composite materials, which remains technically complex. For instance, separating fibers from resins. And maybe the third one is scaling volumes and establishing sector-wide standards to make circularity economically viable.
And Emilie, maybe a word or two before we close about this topic?
To complete what Hélène said, I just want to focus also on the big challenge, which is to embark all the aeronautic channel of this transformation, in fact.
Great. Well, thank you both so much, Emilie and Hélène, for being today's Radars.
Thank you, Kayla.
Thank you, Kayla.
That's it for today's episode. We'll see you all soon.